Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hollywood Hay Hump Day
All right.
with Rich and Terry. But we already gave Terry all of his props in the open there, Hollywood Hump Day.
That's right.
Got rained out yesterday, my friend, at Parks. Kind of interesting because Sean texted me. He lives in that neighborhood. And
Yeah.
he said, what's strange about the day? He said that the weather didn't change at all. So couldn't quite understand why they canceled the racing.
Yeah, I had no idea either. It didn't look as drastic as I thought it would be, but then all of a sudden they were canceled.
Yeah, I was looking like, what happened to this race? What happened to this race? And then there was no race, right?
Yeah. Sometimes the jockeys will tell the stewards and that it's just not safe. They're slipping, the horses are slipping too much, and then they'll cancel the races. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah, that's my guess, is that there was some sort of communication from the track up that the conditions aren't, they're not safe indeed. So what was safe last night was tuning in with Julie and Sean with assistant trainer, Jessica Lindsay, one that's on the way up for sure. You got to meet her last night. If you haven't had a chance to meet her just yet, make sure you subscribe right here on Horse Racing Radar TV. Go in and check out that show last night. Terry, what did you think?
It was a good show. Yeah, enjoyed it. So,
did you invite her out to Gulfstream Park? Gulfstream Park.
No,
did you invite her out to Golden Gate?
No, typically I do jockeys. Once in a while a trainer, but most of the time it's just jockeys.
Most of the time, just jockeys. All right. Well, tonight, of course, Sean and Julie will be back at 8 p.m. Eastern. You're going to want to make sure you tune in for that. That'll be a lot of fun. Let me quickly check and see who the guest is, because Sean's supposed to put this stuff up on Facebook for me, and sometimes I guess he forgets. So tonight's guest is jockey Jason Hoyas, and maybe he hasn't double confirmed it yet, and that's why it's not up. So again, to make sure you don't miss that, head on over to Horse Racing Radar TV, where you are right now. If you're not there on YouTube, please go to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, follow us on all of our social sites, as you see scrolling down there below. Horse Race, the number 2 day, Horse Race Today for TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We wish we could have done it for all of our sites, but we never really kind of thought that far out. Now we're trying to think 10 steps ahead. So hopefully we can get these things corrected going forward. All right, Terry, any observations that you see for today's card at Gulfstream Park before we get started?
Well, just that I was really happy there weren't too many scratches, and I think the fields are, more or less pretty wide open. A couple of races I've got singles in, but I concentrated on pick 4s and pick 5s today because I really don't see any horses to bet to win.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I saw.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. I felt like if you're going to cash any tickets, the middle of the card, I think, will be a little bit more predictable than the first race. And then the last 3 or 4, I felt like going through those last 3 or 4 races, you could pick really almost any but 1 or 2 horses in those fields. So I got some prices at the back half. I'm hoping if one of them wins, I'll have a good day. If they both win, I'll have a fantastic day. So that's kind of where I'm at today. All right, so let's see where our thoughts line up and where they don't line up in race number 1. It's a mile and a 16th on the turf. It is an allowance for $25,000. The purse is for $37,000 at a mile on the 16th in the South Florida racetrack, which is really nice. If you haven't been there, I was down there not too long ago, and it's a very good, very nice place to go in terms of the track set up, very comfortable. If you like to put any money on blackjack, there's a casino right in there too. So if you do good at the horses, you can go do the cards or craps or whatever it is your game is. At a mile and a 16th on the turf, it doesn't matter your running style. It's 50-50 between horses that want to be up in the front or horses that are middle back. Only 14% go wire to wire. That's a decent number, but probably about average. There is a little bit of a rail bonus for my man Flint. Everything from 2 and out is kind of fair. As far as our simulators go, Terry, we like to do 1,000 simulations using speed figures to see how the odds play out relative to the morning line odds. And then again, do the same thing for early speed to see who will be where when they hit the quarter mile marker. Sure looks like Tapsational will be the leader after the first quarter.
Yeah, it does. Although there's plenty of speed in here, as you can see, most of them show some speed. But I think that 8's going to make it to the quarter pole first. And then as far as the overlays go, it's a little bit of a nice overlay on the one horse, supposed to be just over even money. It's listed at 7-2 on the morning line. And then this 4-horse has a little teeny small overlay, supposed to be like 5-2, and it's listed at 3-1 on the morning line.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like the 1-horse looks like it could be the one to beat. Should be one that's forwardly placed. We also, I forgot to do some things here, Terry. So if you could do me a favor while you do that, walk us through your picks, and I'll go ahead and pull something else up. I completely forgot to do something today because I'm brain dead at times, Terry. So why don't you, instead of doing that, Terry, go through where people should subscribe again while I bring up my Way to the Winner Circle worksheet, which take 2 seconds.
All right. Yeah. If you like what you see here, you should subscribe on YouTube. Hit the little bell so that you get notification when either this program's coming on or some of the others that we have. We have plenty of programs, some night programs, some special programs. And then, go to our website too, but also
HorseRacingToday.net. Yes, over there you'll find the Cheltenham picks from our good friend Tom. We got a lot of winners yesterday.
That's right, yeah. And also go to our social sites, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and then also at
all of the above.
Oh, yeah. Horse Race, the number 2 day is where you'll find us. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So I was able to collect my thoughts there, get myself together. We like to plot out how horses like to win races. And that's what I call the Way to the Winner Circle worksheet. The 8-horse wants to win on the lead, be a pilot. EPs are pilots or co-pilots. There's not one that can do dual roles, at least not in this race so far. The Ps are your co-pilots. PCs are your very versatile. They can ride coach. They can ride in first class. They can be a pilot, a co-pilot. They can pretty much be anywhere on the track. And then you have your closers who ride in coach, trying to work their way through the curtain up to first class and into the cockpit. Does look like, according to recent trends, the 8, which is your E-horse, your 4, a P-horse. So the 2 that might want to be up front will be up front. They'll absolutely be probably challenged by the 3-horse. As you mentioned, Terry, plenty of early pace in here. You're looking for some late speed. The 1 has a plus advantage over everybody. You got a lot of closers in here, so it could favor horses that want to be forwardly placed. You and I both took the closer as our top selection. Tell me why you took the 1.
All right. Well, I like that My Man Flint, the number 1 horse, because he finished in the money in 5 out of the last 5 starts, and he won 2 of those. And then he ran second in an all-weather surface in his last race. Number 4 is my second pick, Super Energizer. He finished in the money in 5 out of 8 starts at Gulfstream Park, winning 1 of those, and has done well on the turf in the past. Number 2 is my third pick, Jack the Cat. He won his last race on the turf at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning jockey. I like the 7 as my long shot, Self-Made. He won his last race at Gulfstream Park, and the trainer-jockey combination in the last 14 days has won 2 out of the 3 starts. And then I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to use the 1, 2, 4, 7 because I believe this first race pretty wide open with the 2, 3, 6, and then with the 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to do 2 singles, the 9 in the 4th race and the 6 in the 5th race.
Oof, got a lot of courage with that, Terry, on that back end. I hope you're right for sure. As for me in the opener, I also am going to start with My Man Flint because My Man Flint is running the right distance for this horse. Been out 3 times at 1 mile and a 16th. Won 2 of them, came in second in the other. Did run the top last race speed figure, and as I mentioned, does get a little bit of a bump from the bonus at the rail. Self-Made, the 7-horse, is my second selection, Terry. 1, 2 of 3 on the Gulfstream grass. And in the last 3 races, it's up the speed figure in every one. So we'll see if it can make it 4 in a row. 4, Super Energizer is the third selection for me. I think this one should get a great trip as the lone P horse in the field. As you remember, we had the 8 up on the front, then the 4, and then all the other closers in the middle. So this horse usually does its best when it's forwardly placed. I don't think there's any question it'll be forwardly placed today. And then that 8-horse, Tapsational. Another that does the best work on the lead, should be on the lead today, but I agree with you, Terry. This is an open race to kick off the day at Gulfstream. So I'm going to do a pick 3 with 5 picks. The 1, the 2, the 4, the 7, and 8 over the 2, 3, over the 3 and the 7 in race number 3. Let's see if we can you can pull off your pick 5, and let's see if I can pull off my pick 3. We can both be happy and walk away. Good morning to you, Sean, and to everybody else who's joining us today. If you have any picks, comments, thoughts, questions, hit us up in the comment section. We're glad to see what you like today, and also to build the community. Race number 2, Terry, is the second stop on the card, 8-race card today. 7 furlongs, maiden claiming 12,500. I don't know. There's a lot of claiming races, unlike what we were challenged with Parks yesterday. But maiden claiming 12.5 is probably about as low as you're going to go at the Gulfstream track. The purse is $21,000. The profile of a 7 furlong winner at 7 furlongs on the dirt course favors early speed. 27% go wire to wire, so it's a pretty handsome number there. Get mostly fair post positions 1 through 7. You get a little bit of a kick up in terms of winning percentages if you go 8 and out. Looking at our speed and early pace calculations, Terry, it looks to me like 2 horses are going to be battling for the lead.
It does. That 2 and that 3 are going to go head to head to that quarter pole, see who can get there first. As far as the rest of the field, they don't seem to have that much speed, but the 5 horse is a really, really large overlay. He's supposed to be close to 2-1 in the morning line, and he's actually 12-1 listed as the morning line. So
maybe one we should have put in our pick 4s. I left it out because I do think it's going to be hard in this card again to string together multiple winners from race to race, because it is looking wide open to me. In the second start for looking to turn our way to the winner's circle worksheet, we don't have any pilots or co-pilots. We got a lot of straight up co-pilots only. Of those 2, it looks like the 2 and the 3, as we saw in our simulator, will be the ones that are on the front. What's interesting about both of them is they also have the most late pace in the group and the best combination of early speed, late speed. So there's a good chance that the 2 and the 3 can run around the track from beginning to end, 1-2 from gate to wire, Terry. And we both have the 2 and 3 as our top 2 choices.
That's right, we do. And I like, as you were talking, I like the 2 better than the 3. Chief Roca, he drops in class today, has a high percentage winning jockey, and his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. Number 3, Bobby's Candy, my second pick, finished 3rd versus Tougher on an all-weather track, and drops in class today. And then 6 is my 3rd pick, Kaiser. Can improve while returning to dirt, and the shorter distance will give him some hope for improvement. And then I like number 7 as my long shot, finished in the money in 2 out of 3 starts at Gulfstream Park, and should improve while returning to the dirt. And I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 2, 3, 6 with the 3, 4, 5 with the 9, and then the 6 and the 8 in the 5th race.
So your entire morning is going to rest on that 9 horse in race number 4. That's going to be Terry's linchpin to having a fantastic day. I think we both have it as the winner, so hopefully that does prove to be the case. Let's hope that it proves that the 2 horse here, Chief Roca, is the winner for both of us here, Terry. I think this one has a chance to be better in the classic 3rd start after a layoff. What I liked about this one over the 3 is it had 2 workouts between races, so the horse should continue to be fit and firm. Number 3, Bobby's Candy, consistent start to finish runner. So when you look through the race internals, you see it runs pretty similar early pace, pretty similar middle pace, pretty similar late pace. So the horse will run a consistent race from beginning to end. There's no drop off anywhere. And also very consistent race to race performances. So you're going to have to beat that one. It's not going to beat itself. Number 5, the one that you mentioned as a great potential overlay. First Team has an occasional pop in output. So the horse really has a lot of volatility in its performance. If it has the pop here, could live up to our simulated odds, could win. Number 6, Kaiser. This horse is usually well bet. Maybe one of these days will live up to that confidence that horse players have shown in it over and over and over again. The reason for hope here with the 6 horses is going to try its first race on dirt, so maybe it'll like the new surface. I'm going to do a pick 4, 50 cents. The 2 and the 3, those do look like the horses that'll run 1-2 around the track to me, with the 3-7, then the 3-9, and then the 2, 4, 5, and 8 on the back end of my pick 4. We're going to slide forward in one race here to race number 3 at this Gulfstream Park track. And race 3 on this wonderfully bright Wednesday down there in South Florida. 5 furlongs on the all-weather, Charles's favorite surface. He don't like it. It's claiming $16,000. The purse is twice that at $32,000 on the all-weather track in this short type sprints. Terry, we're looking for horses that have some early speed, a big 35%, take them from gate to wire. You do have post positions that are mostly fair. Well, there is a small discount for the one horse. So Ready on the Line will have to work a little harder than the rest to go to the winner's circle. If we look at our pace and odds set up, Terry, again, we see there's plenty of speed in here, but one horse that stands out.
Yeah, there's the 3, the 4, and the 8 has speed, and the others some more speed. But I think that 3 is going to get to that quarter pole first among these starters. And then as far as the overlays go, the 1's a really nice overlay. It's supposed to be like 5-2, and it's on simulated odds, and the morning line is 8-1. And then the 8 horse is supposed to be around almost 6-1. It's like 5.5-1 simulated odds, but it's listed as 15-1. And then this 7 is also a nice overlay. He's supposed to be like 5-2, and he's listed at morning line 5-1.
Indeed, some value in the 3rd race. And like I said, I think this card gets pretty much wide open as the races go on. 6 horses out. This horse had some of the best combination in here. If you look at this race, recency bias, all but the 1 horse, which wants to be towards the lead when it wins, have similar early pace. So that's kind of interesting in there. When you see this race set up here, Terry, this happened yesterday, and it also happened before. You have horses that either want to be on the front, which is the majority of the horses here, or 2 that want to be on the back. You get this 1 sitting right in the middle. I don't care how those horses look on paper. So many times they get a phenomenal trip, and they end up winning the race. So the race setup could favor that 7 horse, Terry. I have it as my top pick. It also was one of the top picks from the simulator. You're going to start off with Classy Boy, something you are.
Yeah, I'm going to take the 5 Classy Boy. He finished 3rd versus similar in his last race, has the highest last race speed rating, and his all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. Then my second choice is the number 3, Smart Coverage. He finished 7th after steadying on the turn, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 4 is my 3rd pick. He won a race at Gulfstream Park in January and has a high percentage winning jockey. And that 7 that's your top pick is my long shot. He's a house builder. He drops in class today and has a trainer who wins 40% of the races when taking a horse down 2+ classes. No bet for me in this race.
That's a big number, 40%, Terry, I think. Looking at that house builder, that's one of the reasons why I put that one up on top there. As you mentioned, trainer William Theranos has won 10 of 25. So it's not a small data set. It's a pretty decent data set moving down 2+ classes. This one's making the second start off a layoff, so room for improvement. And again, is that lone P horse in between the speed and the closer. Should get a fantastic trip. Number 3, Smart Coverage. You have Irad and Josie Safi. I don't know why. That's like a tongue twister. Safi Joseph Jr. Those 2 have only teamed up 11 times so far this year. They should do it more often because they've won 6 out of 11 together. That's a good number. The 5 horse Classy Boy did run the top last race speed figure. Like to see that. Also like to see that he has a maintenance workout to keep himself fit and sharp for this spot. And then finally, number 2, Majestic Pharaoh. Was a tough call over that 1 horse for me. That 1 horse that showed on the simulator you should probably have in there, but has some early speed, which I like to see. Gets the first time Lasix, and I really like that combination of a horse that has back speed and is getting first Lasix. The speed tends to hold a little bit longer. So I'm going to do a trifecta here. I'm going to go 3-7 with the 3-5-7 with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 7. And Terry and I have a $100 budget. We come into the day every day with a $100 budget. And then we have to make that last for every race that's on the card, whether that's 8 races like today, or if it's like 11 or 12 races like we'll have on the weekend. I think, Terry, Oaklawn Park, what do you think about that for Saturday?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I like Oaklawn Park. So,
All right, so
yeah.
Saturday, Terry and I will do Oaklawn Park. That will be, I think they have the two biggest stakes races on the day too. One of them is $500,000. The other, I think, is 400,000. Race 4 is 7 furlongs, optional claiming 25 grand for a purse of $37,000. As we mentioned, it does favor speed. In fact, 27% of the horses go wire to wire. You do get a little bit of a bonus if you wear an 8 or out, but there's no deal makers or deal breakers as far as post positions are concerned. Speed is a factor, and you got a lot of it on the outside.
Oh yeah. Sorry, daydreaming there for a minute. You look at that 7, 9, and the 8 horse. They have all the speed in here. Although most of them have speed, but those have the major amount of speed. So it's anyone's guess who gets to the quarter pole first. And then 4 is like a pretty nice overlay. It's supposed to be like 6-1 or a little over that. Excuse me. And it's listed at 12-1 on the morning line. And then the 5 horse, he's supposed to be the favorite according to the simulated odds, and he's listed at the morning line as 4.5-1.
Yeah, looks like maybe 8-5 would be fair value on that guy. In race 4, 6 horses out. One that could have some say. It does look like there's enough pace in here. You got the 7, the 5, and the 8. Those are squared off. So they're the ones that should be the ones that lead the way when the race gets started. I do like that this 3 horse with that 6 scratching becomes the lone PC type. So it does have a shot then to run whatever race it wants to go. So if this group right here that likes to be middle forward, if they go too fast, the 3 can be patient. If they go too slow, it can be impatient and move its way forward. So in this race, the 3 is likely to get a very nice trip, Terry. Let's see if indeed that translates to a winner. We both have it second.
Yeah, I like the 9 as my top pick, and actually the 9 looks fairly decent to me today.
Well, it's one of your singles, so
yeah, it better look decent.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually my pick of the day. So anyway, he won his last race at Gulfstream Park. His best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. He has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer, so lots of boxes marked off. Number 3, Hello Jack, is my second choice. Won 2 races in a row, and it's going for a hat trick now. It switches to a high percentage winning trainer. Number 2, McMoney, is my third pick, ran second versus similar in an all-weather race, and switches to a high percentage winning jockey. And then my long shot is number 8, the Stubborn Stake. He ran second versus similar in his last race. I'm going to bet a 50-cent pick 5. I'm going to take the 9 as a single, and then I'm going to take the 6, 8 in the 5th, the 2, 4, 5 in the 6th, the 1, 2, 5 in the 7th, and the 2, 6, 7 and 9 in the last leg.
Yeah, that's a lot of courage there. I hope that 9 horse comes through for you, because that back end of this card, the next couple of races, I think, are wide open. In race 4, Pounceville, maybe that's a Pounceville. Maybe that's how you pronounce that 9 horse's name. Did run the top last race speed figure in an easy 14th like win as the 6-5 favorite. Has a bunch of workouts in between, so you can expect another quality effort from a horse that should be forwardly placed. Hello Jack, that 3 horse, 1, 2 in a row, is making its 3rd start after a layoff, which is a classic handicapping angle, as we mentioned. So first off, the claim 2 for trainer Jose D'Angelo. That's an alpha angle for him, coming in at 27%. Number 5, Big John, has the most late pace. Should be close to the front, though, because I don't think he'll be all that far off. And if you combine the early speed and the late speed, this simulated favorite does have the top early speed, late speed combination in the field. And then finally, number 2, McMoney. Again, another making the 3rd start off a layoff. Should be pretty similar to what produced in the last effort, according to its resume. And it will make him competitive in this spot. I'm just going to do a trifecta. I don't have the brass to go pick 5 here, Terry, because at the back end of the card, it gets really crazy in my view. 3-9. With the 3-5-9, with the 1, 2, 3, 5, and 9. I think now we break into the part of the card where I felt like you can pick up just about any horse in any race and make a case for it. In race number 5, we're going to make a case for horses that are going to go 1 mile on the turf in an optional claiming 32,000 for a purse of 35 grand. The style that usually wins at a mile on the grass favors horses that have There's really no advantage anywhere. It's a very fair race, 50-50 in terms of running style. The post positions are fair, although if you can get to the lead at the quarter-mile marker, you have a 25% chance to go wire to wire. So that means Rosebud's Hope has a 25% chance probably to take this field from gate to wire.
Well, look at those the simulated at the quarter pole. Who's going to be there? Boy, who knows which horse is going to be there? So
Well,
much.
the only one that probably won't be there is the 7.
Well, that's true, yeah. But and watch it. That'll probably be the one that makes
the 7 and the 2 will jump out to the front, right?
But out of the rest, the 8, 3, 1, and 4 has the most speed, it appears to me. And the 2 is a nice overlay. It's supposed to be just over 2 to 1, and it's listed at morning line odds at 5 to 1. And then the 8, if you look at that 8, it's supposed to be less than
About
just a little over, just a little over even money, 6 to 5, and it's listed at like 9 to 2 in the morning line. So there you go.
We joke a little bit about these things, but when you watch the races, Terry, how often is it like it might not go in exact order, but the 3 that we think will be on the lead are usually towards the front, and a lot of times the one we peg as the leader actually is the leader.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of scary. I wish that it would be as accurate at the end. The race shape here is interesting because the 8 horse, which is one of the horses that we have on the front, according to the simulator, the one that's likely to be on the front, has won as a pace setter or as a co-pilot. So should absolutely get the trip at once. The 2 and the 3 are the horses that are most likely to keep it company. The 3 being a closer who's normal, giddy up and go when the gates open, is going to move it closer to the front in this field. As they come down the stretch, all but the 2 and the 8 have similar late pace. And if you combine the first part of the race and the last part of the race, only the 2 kind of does not match up with everybody else in here in terms of the early pace, late pace combination. Again, just looking at the setup, looking at all the numbers, this is one of those races that's wide open to me, Terry. And somehow we both settled on the 6.
Yeah, I like Midnight Bella. She won 3 out of the last 4 races at Gulfstream Park, has a high percentage winning trainer. And then number 8 is my second choice, Rosebud's Hope. Finished in the money in 72% of the races during her career, and she's won 28% of those. So she's very competitive. Number 2 is Social Engagement. My third pick, finished third versus similar on an all-weather track. And in her last race, and then she can improve at the shorter distance. And then 1 is my long shot Passion Plus. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park, has the highest last speed rating, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. And I'm going to play a 50-cent pick 4. I'm going to use the 6-8 with the 2-4-5, with the 1-2-5, with the 2-6, 7, and 9.
I like the 6 horse too. That's my first one as well. Midnight Bella, good form, consistent performer. It's the right distance, 1 mile. Ran out 9 times at 1 mile. Won 4 of them. Came in third once. Horse has run 21 times at another distance and only won 4. So twice as likely to win at a mile as any other distance. Number 2, Social Engagement. Flips to IRAD today, which tells me that the trainer expects this horse to put together a good race today and wants to get the best ride possible. And this one performs at a really consistent level, race to race to race. It's one of the favorites on the simulator, too. Number 8, Rosebud Hope, drops in class. And when you just look at the race to race to race numbers, that has the most upside. So it's achieved the highest marks. If it can run that race today, probably could be your winner again on the front. And then finally, perhaps tonight. This one's been 100% in the money at 1 mile on the grass. 5 times out, 2 wins, 2 seconds and a third. So knows how to collect the check. And is another that is making that third start off of a layoff. Oof. I wrote down all as a possibility here, but I can only go 2, 6, 8 over the 4, 5, over the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 6, over the 5, 7, and 9 in my 50-cent pick 4. And hoping to catch some stuff in the back half of that in the last 2 races where I have some shots as maybe not my top pick, but definitely very competitive horses, I think. Race 6 is 5.5 furlongs all weather, claiming 10 grand, purse for $24,000. Terry, 5.5 furlong profile of a winner. Early speed is the way to go. 26% going wire to wire. You do get a little bit of a bonus if you are in post position 8 or out. Again, speed being a factor here, you got a trio of them that are the most likely leaders.
Yeah, the 743 have the most speed, but I really looking at the form thinks that 4 is going to make it to that quarter pole first. And then as far as the overlays, the 2 is a small overlay, is supposed to be a little bit over 2-1 as far as the simulated odds, and he's listed it like 5-2 on the morning line. Then the 3 is a really nice overlay. It's simulated odds are like 4-1 almost, and it's listed at 15-1 in the morning line. Then you have the 8 here, which is another nice overlays, almost 5-1 in the morning simulated odds, and in the morning line he's listed at 12-1.
Interesting that we have the same 3 horses up front in a race that I deem to be wide open. So maybe those horses will be bet down and ones you should avoid, because I think you should be looking value for in the back half of this card. This is a race where everybody should kind of get the trip that they want. The 7, likely to be one of your leaders. The 4, likely to be a leader. You've got a PC here type. Again, those are very versatile. The 3 is very likely to be involved. This could have a little bit of giddy up and go. If it does, the 8 horse has the most late pace in the group and should be forwardly placed. So maybe can capitalize on a little bit of late legs for Frankie, my dear. Terry, we got the same 3 up front, so tell us why you have him in that order.
Well, I like this 4-horse Chasing Joy because she finished in the money 66% of the time when she's racing at Gulfstream Park, and she's won 33% of those races. Then number 5 is my second choice, Streaming of Audrey. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park. She has a high percentage winning jockey and the highest speed figure at today's distance. Number 2 is my third pick, Island Magic. Drops in class today, and her best all-weather speed is fastest among today's starters. And then I like number 1 as my long shot. Was beaten only at a length and a quarter versus similar in her last start, and has a good workout on March 8th. As I'm out of money, I'm not going to make any bet here.
He's broke. All right. I'd start with the 4-horse 2, Chasing Joy. I think this one's going to probably be on the front or close to the front. They have a good shot to go wire to wire. Did fade at the end of the last race, which was concerning to me. But then I looked at the time and then kind of calculated out what its time would be for Chasing Joy. If it could run the same exact race, if everybody runs the same race that they ran last time, which won't happen, but if they were to do so, Chasing Joy ran the fastest time last out. Dreaming of Audrey, most consistent all-weather performer in this group. It's going to be closing at the end in a field where there's a lot of similar early speed, so should be right off the pace and have some juice to maybe get to the finish line first. Island Magic, that 2-horse, was a little bit late, a little bit better in the later part of its last race. And so it's a lot of times you see horses clicking in at the end of a race. That momentum carries over to the next one. So dropping in class should help capitalize on that momentum. Finally, I'm going to go with Frankly, My Dear. I don't give a damn. Who was that? Cary Grant? Was that the actor who said that there? You were around back then.
Clark Gable.
Clark Gable, yes. Like I said, you were around back then. Anyway, that one is the top last race speed figure horse that's dropping in class, a combination that I really like. And again, shouldn't be all that far off the front, so can take advantage of those late legs. Trifecta for me, I did a 4-5 with the 2-4-5 with the 2, 4, 5, 6, and 8 in race number 6. Excuse me. Race number 7. Here's where things I think really can come. Anything can happen. 1 mile and 70 yards on the all-weather track. Optional claiming of $62,000 from $500 for a purse of $87,000. At 1 mile and 70 yards, you don't have an advantage of any running style. Only 11% go wire to wire, so probably discount the front runner types. Post positions are mostly fair, Terry. At the 7th race here, you see there is plenty of speed with the 2, the 3, and the 4, but everybody but the 7-horse has shown a chance to get to the lead.
That's right. Although, as looking at the racing form, it appears to me that the 2 has the most speed and should get there first. But anyway, as far as overlay goes, you got a small overlay on that 1. It's supposed to be about 3.5-1 simulated odds, and it's 4-1. But then the 7 is a nice overlay. It's 4-1 on simulated odds, 12-1 on the morning line, and the 8 is about double. It's supposed to be around 2-1 in the simulated odds, and it's 4-1 on the morning line.
And we have a lot of divergence. We agree on the 1 and the 5, but outside of that, your top pick, I don't have. My top pick, you don't have. So one of us can't be right in terms of who will win the race, Terry.
That's right.
Our pace set up for race number 7. The 2-horse Indeed is an EP type, should have a good shot, but he's going to have plenty of company from the 3 and the 4. These horses are horses that have versatile running styles, can be up in the front, be in the middle, be in the back, whatever. And so they should get a trip that they want with this kind of setup. Interestingly to me, the 3-horse at a price is coming in with a 10-point early pace, late pace advantage over the rest of this field, which I found kind of shocking, to be honest with you. I had to go back and double check that to make sure it was correct, but it was correct. All right, Terry, tell us why you like Grand David as your top choice, and I don't even have him in my picks.
I know, and that shows that. I think that really shows how wide open this race is. Grand David drops in class today, and he switches to high percentage winning jockey. Number 2, Ever Dangerous, has a high percentage winning jockey. A trainer wins 30% of the races when taking a horse from the turf to an all-weather surface. And then the 1 is my third pick, Mannix. He has won one race out of 2 starts at Gulfstream Park and drops in class today. Brooklyn Strong, number 7, is my long shot. Finished 3rd in 4 out of his last 5 races, and has a trainer wins 24% of the time when shipping a horse into race. No bet.
No bets for Terry. So I'm going to go with Carruthers. Best races have definitely been on the all-weather. Only concern for me is the one is moving up in class here. Number 1, the Mannix, one that we do agree on, does have some good works, getting ready for the first race after a layoff. And the horse usually runs a good race when it's got a little bit of rest. Number 3, Win for the Money, Terry. Let's take a price here with the horse that does have that double take, 10-point early pace, late pace edge. And then the 5-horse, another one that we agree on, Ever Dangerous. It's probably the most talented horse in this field. The question for me is the first time it's going to go other track, which can be tricky for some horses. Although George Weaver, the trainer, done it 10 times so far this year, and 3 of those horses managed to win on that surface switch. I'm going to do 2 doubles here, Terry. I'm going to do the 3-horse, that long shot, over to 2, 3, over to 2, 5, 7, 8, and 9 in the final leg. And I'm also going to do the 1, 3, 5, 6, and 8 over the 5 in race number 8. If it goes 3, 5, I can win twice, and will be a huge day just on those 2 doubles alone. We got a few minutes before the opener at Gulfstream Park. So let's run through race number 8 real quick, Terry, and then we'll go ahead and talk about what's happening with race number 1 while it's happening. The last race is a sprint, 5 furlongs on the turf, optional claiming $25,000, non-winners have won in a year. Nice purse of $86,000. You're looking for speed at 5 furlongs on the grass, Terry. 28% of the time they go wire to wire. You do get post positions that are mostly fair, although for some reason 4 through 7 gets a little bit of a discount. There are a trio of scratches here, some of which do impact the early speed, but it does look like that 1 horse on the rail might be the one to catch.
Yeah, there is the speed there with the 1, the 4, and the 7. And now that the 10 scratch, that took some of the speed out. But, I think that 7 is going to break first out of the gate. I think that if you look at the form, he's got a lot earlier foot than the other 2. And then the 8 is the only really overlay I see here. 3-1 on the morning simulated odds, and it's listed at 8-1. Daisy B, and I like Daisy B even though I don't
have it in your picks.
I don't have it, but I like it's my 5th choice. I like it a lot, and especially because my mom's name was Daisy. So
a little bit of sentimental value for
you
there.
Yeah.
So you got some scratches, the 10 out, the 11 out, which was an also eligible, the 3, which had the best combination of early speed, late speed, and lone closer. You got a couple of horses here that want to be on the front. They'll get plenty of company from these pressure types. The 2 and the 6 being the lone PC runners. These 2 could get really nice trips as well, Terry. It'd be interesting to see how this race shakes out. All of them have similar early speed except for the 11 and the 5, but the 11's not out. So the 5 is one that doesn't have a little bit of early speed, but does have some late speed in there and maybe could be a shocker today when the gates open up. All right, Terry, walk us through your last race picks.
Okay, that 7 Miss Sakata
Sakamoto.
Sakamoto. Yeah, I can't speak Japanese. Anyway, she finished in money in 6 out of 6 career races. And she's won one of those, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. So this horse is very competitive. Number 9, French Kissing. She switches to a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 25% of the races when he takes a horse in their first start after the trainer claims it or gets the horse.
First start off the claim, huh?
Yeah. And then number 6, Talking Tipsy is my third pick. She won her last race at Gulfstream Park and has a high percentage winning trainer. Long shot, and I really like this long shot. Number 2, Peach Cobbler. She won her last 3 races. The last one at Gulfstream Park, so you know she can run there. So for me, I'm going to put some money on this horse across the board.
But you don't have any money on it here. You're going to do it
Not
in your
here,
account.
but personally.
All right. In race number 7, the 8, the final race for me. I'm going to start off with the 7 horse, Miss Sakamoto, as my top choice too. Never off the board. Resume says second off the bench will be better than the first. But this guy's a money burner. Been the favorite 4 times. Missed the money. Didn't miss the money, but didn't win in 3 of those 4 when she was the public choice. French Kissing, lightly raced horse, one of the most lightly raced horses in the field. Irad jumps on after a really nice workout on February the 20th. 3 furlongs in 35-3. Irad's going to get this one out towards the front. No question about it in my mind today. Here's my long shot in here. Ganoush, top pedigree number for the turf, top pedigree number for the distance. Has a February 25th workout at Palm Meadows, was the 3rd fastest of 103. Does have some back speed, and cutting back in distance could be helpful for Paco Lopez today. And then your long shot too with me, Terry. Peach Cobbler, tough call over the 8, that Daisy B. Solid pedigree for the distance and surface, should be close to the pace. And I'm going to do a 50-cent try, 5-7-9 over to 7-9 over to 2-5, 7, 8, and 9 in that last card, hoping that 5 horse wins the last race and the 3 horse wins the prior race. Here's race number 1, Terry, in terms of our picks. You got to pick 5 with the 1, 2, 4, 7, with the 2, 3, 6, with the 3, 4, 5, singling to 9, singling to 6. I'm starting with a pick 3, and again, a race we both concur is wide open. They're loading into the gates now, so they're about to take off. So we'll kind of give you a sense of what's going on in race number 1. Again, according to our simulation, the 7 horse should be your early leader. Should get a little bit of company perhaps from the 3 and the 1, although all of them except the 2 have shown the ability to be forwardly placed. And as they come out of the gates, it looks like the 8 horse, as we suspected, is the one that's moved to the front. Got the 2 horse on that rail there. That is that the 2 or the 1? No, that's the 1 horse. Again, another horse that we said had a chance to be up front. So the 8 going through the opening turn is your leader with the 3. So that is the 2nd horse, which going according to plan so far, the 6 horse is moved into 3rd place. And the opening quarter of 23 and almost 9 for a race that's going to go. How far is this race again, Terry? Race number 1? A mile and a 16th, maybe a little bit on the quick side in under 24 seconds, I think. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the 8 and the 6 kind of fall off as the race moves on. They are all much tightly bunched up, though. They went through the opening quarter at 47-6. Still a little bit on the quick side, I feel like, Terry, but it doesn't really look like anybody's running very hard. The jockey on the 8 horse is looking between his legs. That is Junior Alvarado, to see if anything's coming. It is actually the favorite right now.
It is.
Looming boldly on the outside is the 7 horse, self-made, Jose Ortiz at 6-1. So maybe a nice shot there. They are starting to pick up the tempo a little bit. It looks to me like the 8 horse and the 6 horse, though, are out on those 2. The 7 horse is trying to make its move wide, but the 4 looks like it's moving the most swiftly at the end here, but did run into a little bit of traffic with the 7 as those 2 exchange bumps. And all the way on the outside, Buffalo Girls on the outside with the 1 horse trying to make a move, but it looks to me like it's going to go 8, 4, and 1, Terry. 8, 4, and 1. So if you had boxed all my picks, you would have had the trifecta, but both of us are alive in the pick 5 and the pick 3. A wide open race where there was some opportunity to make money. The 4 horse was the winner, and that one went off at 4-1. The 8 horse finished second at 5-2, and the 1 horse at 7-2. So the bettors were even kind of lukewarm.
Yeah.
There you go for the first race, Terry. All right, so we're off to a decent start. Any final thoughts before we get up and get out of here today? I should have boxed them. That first race, I should just box my trifecta.
Yeah, you keep saying that. You did it one time, and then that was I only saw you do it once. So but why don't you start trying to do that? But anyway, I just hope that everybody has a good week, as I've said before, and I hope that the financial stuff gets better.
Yeah. It's only going to get worse, Terry. It's just
I know, but I can always hope, can't I?
I hope I'm wrong, Terry, but Moody's downgraded the entire banking sector. Said I think there's something like 8 banks that are in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
This stuff wasn't happening a few years ago. So hopefully we can get this in a few years to clean back up again. I do some stock market stuff. I hope it's one and done, but these things are almost never one-off events.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they're all intertwined with each other, right? They all own each other's stuff. And the language that scares me a little bit now is they're talking about mark to market.
Mm-hmm.
So they have these investments that are, they're not stocks that are publicly traded. They're not real estate. They have these derivatives and all of these different kind of weirdly structured financial instruments where there's not really a great market for them. So on the financial statements, on the balance sheets, they basically make up the price. And then they value it at that price.
Yeah.
So if they have to mark to market, they actually have to go to the market and try to sell it to see what it's worth. So instantaneously, stuff can be worth 50 cents on the dollar compared to what it was worth yesterday. And then to get their books back in line, they actually have to sell the good stuff to make up for the bad stuff. And then all of this selling creates downward pressure, which is what we saw in 2008. I don't want to see that again. I'm not hoping for it. I hope it's a one-off event, but history says it's probably not going to be the case.
Yeah, I know. And, if I was the same age as I was in 2008, I wouldn't worry about it much. But at the age I am now, it really affects my mental thinking because I don't have that many years to recover. So anyway.
Well, hopefully I'm wrong, Terry. It wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I hope everybody's weather stays decent. I'm hoping that it stays decent and gets better for when I go to Oakland and Chicago area in April. And other than that, I just hope you all have a great week and that you give your loved ones love and all your friends too.
Indeed. And also tomorrow starts off the NCAA tournament. So our friend with the Picks with the Professor, make sure you head on over to his site. There's a link down in the description below. There's a lot of opportunities. I'm sure Professor Sides will have a lot of great thoughts for the tournament. Heck, there's a couple of games today, even playing games. So the 2 last night were very close. I think both were decided by 1 point. Definitely worth his thoughts. Also, worth going over to the guaranteed tip sheet. There's a link down in the description below. Louisiana Downs, the free track today. I got some information that some review that Louisiana Downs is one of the better tracks in terms of selection. So tends to hit some pretty solid winners there. Link down in the description below. Free track. Make sure you use that link down there. Terry, you and I will be back again tomorrow to do Gulfstream Park once again. Mm-hmm. Should be a fun day. I'm looking forward to it. And then on Saturday, we'll be back. I think on Friday, Tom and I are going to do Sha Tin out in Hong Kong for our Foreign Fridays. A lot of great stuff coming up. Make sure you tune in, hit that subscribe button. And one final thought before we get out of here. We're going to make our own economy. Forget what's happening with the banks. Trust your intuition. And whatever your gut's telling you to do, go do it. Make it happen, Terry. That's what we're going to do here. No matter what you decide to do, we hope it ends up in one place, Terry. And that can only be
the winner's circle.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today. We appreciate it. Look forward to getting back together again tomorrow to cover Gulfstream Park.